Captain Jake Martinez stood on the bridge of the Terra Nova and looked out at the stars. His ship was far from Earth now, farther than any human had ever traveled before. The silence of deep space felt heavy around them. "Captain," said Ryan Clark. "From his station, I'm getting something strange on the radio." Jake walked over to where Ryan sat. The young man had been their communications officer for 3 years now. He was good at his job and rarely got excited about nothing. "What kind of strange?" Jake asked. Ryan put his hand to his earpiece and frowned. It sounds like someone trying to speak English, but they're not very good at it." Lisa Wong looked up from her weapons station. She was tough and smart, and Jake trusted her with his life. "This could be a trap," she said. "Pirates use fake distress calls sometimes." "This far out?" asked Danny O'Brien, the ship's engineer. Was a big man with thick hands and a kind heart. "We're 3 months from the nearest human settlement." Dr. Amy Stone came onto the bridge. She was their science officer and doctor. Her job was to study new life forms they might find. "Did someone say we found aliens?" she asked with excitement. In her voice, Jake held up his hand for quiet. Ryan put it on the speakers. The voice that came through was strange. It spoke English words, but the accent was unlike anything Jake had ever heard. Some words were spoken too fast, others too slow. It sounded like a computer trying to learn human language. "Please ... help us," the voice said. "We're the Zephyrian Coalition. We know of humans. You live on Deathworld. They're strong. We need strong ones." The bridge went quiet. Everyone looked at each other. "Deathworld?" Danny asked. "What do they mean?" The voice continued. "Our worlds are dying. The Void Hunters come with big ships. They kill everything, take everything. Cannot fight them. We are not strong like humans." Dr. Stone leaned forward. "This is incredible. They know about Earth. They know about us. But how?" Lisa asked. "We've never made contact with aliens before." Jake thought for a moment. "Ryan, can you clean up that signal? Make it clearer?" Ryan's fingers moved over his controls. Voice became easier to understand. "Humans live on world that kills," the alien voice said. "Hot fires from the ground, ice that freezes blood, water that drowns cities, animals that eat other animals. Only the very strong can live on such a world." Jake felt a chill run down his back. They were talking about volcanoes, blizzards, floods, and predators. Things that were normal on Earth. "We heard humans now travel in space," the voice went on. "We send this message to all directions. Hope humans hear. Hope humans help. The Void Hunters have big ships, many ships. They break our worlds like glass." Dr. Stone was writing notes as fast as she could. "Captain, this changes everything. They've been watching us somehow. They know about Earth's environment." "The question is," Lisa said, "can we trust them?" Danny rubbed his chin. "If they wanted to hurt us, would they tell us they think we're dangerous?" The alien voice was getting weaker. "Our home world has little time. It'll be 20 of your days. After that, the Void Hunters will come with all their ships. We will all die. If any humans hear this, please help. We do not know how to fight. We do not know how to be strong like you." Then the signal went quiet. Jake looked around at his crew. "Thoughts?" "It could still be a trap," Lisa said. "But that didn't sound like any human language pattern I know." Dr. Stone was excited. "The linguistic structure is completely alien. No human could fake that accent and grammar pattern." "What about their technology?" Jake asked Danny. Danny shrugged. "Hard to say. The signal was strong enough to reach us across deep space. That takes serious power." Ryan was still working at his station. "Captain, I'm picking up more signals now. Lots of them. All in different alien languages, but some have English words mixed in." "Emergency broadcasts?" Jake asked. "Looks like it. Getting coordinates too. Coming from a star system about 2 weeks away at full speed." Jake walked to the front of the bridge and stared out at the stars. His ship carried 38 people. They had weapons, but nothing like a real warship. They were explorers, not soldiers. "Captain," Dr. Stone said quietly, "if this is real, we're talking about first contact with alien life. And they're asking for our help. Against other aliens who are trying to wipe them out, Lisa added. That's a war, Captain. Are we ready for that? Danny stood up from his station. Those people sounded scared. Really scared. If someone was attacking Earth, wouldn't we want help? Jake thought about his family back on Earth, his wife and 2 kids. If aliens were attacking Earth and another species could help but chose not to, how would he feel? Ryan, he said, can you send a message back? I think so, Captain, but it might take a while to reach them. Tell them we heard their call. Tell them we're coming. Lisa stepped forward. Captain, with respect, we should contact Earth first. Get orders. Get back up. That will take months, Jake said. They said they have 20 days. 20 days until what? Lisa asked. Until the attack? Or until they're all dead? Right. Dr. Stone looked at her notes. They mentioned homeworld. It suggests they have multiple worlds. The attack on their homeworld might be the final battle. Jake made his decision. We go. We investigate. If it's a trap, we run. If it's real. ... double quotes. He paused. If it's real, we help however we can. 38 people against an invasion fleet, Lisa asked. Maybe 38 people is enough, Danny said. They called us strong. They called Earth a death world. Maybe they know something we don't. Jake nodded. Set course for those coordinates. Maximum speed. Yes, Captain, Ryan said. As the Terra Nova turned toward the alien star system, Jake wondered what they would find there. He thought about Earth and all its dangers. Hurricanes, earthquakes, diseases, predators. Humans had learned to survive. All of it. Maybe that was what made them different. Maybe that was what made them strong. The ship jumped too faster than light speed, and the stars became long lines of light. They were going to meet aliens. They were going to answer a call for help from across the galaxy. Jake just hoped they would be enough. 2 weeks later, the Terra Nova dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the alien star system. What they saw made everyone on the bridge go quiet. My God, whispered Dr. Stone. Ships filled the space around them. Hundreds of them. But these were not warships. They were clearly built to carry people, not weapons. Many showed signs of damage. Some were leaking air into space. Refugee ships, Lisa said. They're running from something. Jake watched as small craft moved between the larger ships. They seemed to be helping the damaged ones. Ryan, try to make contact. Already on it, Captain, Ryan said. His fingers moved over the controls. I'm getting dozens of signals, most in alien languages, but some in broken English. A new voice came through the speakers. This one was clearer than the first. Message, but still strange. Unknown ship. Please identify. Are you human ship? Please say you are human ship. Jake picked up the microphone. This is Captain Jake Martinez of the Earth ship Terra Nova. We received your distress call. The silence that followed lasted almost a minute. Then the alien voice came back, and it sounded like the speaker was crying. You came. You actually came. Please, can you meet with Admiral Kes Veltar? She commands what is left of our fleet. Patch us through to the Admiral, Jake said. The screen in front of them flickered, then showed an alien face. Jake tried not to stare, but it was hard. The creature looked almost human, but not quite. The skin was pale blue, and the eyes were larger than human eyes. The alien was clearly female, but her neck was longer than a human neck, and her fingers had too many joints, the alien said. The alien said, her English was much better than the voices they had heard before. I am Admiral Kes Veltar. Cannot believe you came. In all our history, no species has ever answered a call for help from strangers. What happened here? Jake asked. The alien's face became sad. The Void Hunters happened. They came to our world 6 months ago. First, they demanded tribute. Food, metal, technology. When we gave them what they wanted, they demanded more. When we said we had no more to give, they began destroying our cities. Double quotes. Dr. Stone leaned toward the microphone. Admiral, I'm Dr. Amy Stone. Can you tell us about the Void Hunters? What kind of technology do they have? It's better than ours, the Admiral said. But from what we have learned about humans, perhaps not better than yours. They use brute force, many ships attacking together. Do not care how many of their own people die. Lisa stepped forward. How many ships do they have in their full fleet? Perhaps 300 large warships? Maybe more? We are not sure. Felt his heart sink. 300 warships against one exploration ship. The admiral seemed to see his expression. Captain, may I ask you something? Is it true that humans live on a death world? Death world? Jake asked. A world where survival is difficult, where nature itself tries to kill you, where you must fight every day just to live. Jake thought about Earth, about hurricanes that could level cities, about earthquakes that could split the ground open, about diseases that could kill millions, about animals that hunted humans for food. I guess that's true, he said. The admiral's eyes went wide. Then it is true. Your species has learned to fight for survival. Our species has not. Come from worlds that are gentle. Our weather is always mild. Our animals do not hunt each other. We have never had to learn to be strong. Dr. Stone was taking notes. Admiral, could we meet in person? I would like to learn more about your people, and you could learn about ours. Yes. The admiral said quickly, Please, come to our command ship. But Captain, I must warn you, our ship is damaged. The environment might be dangerous for you. Jake almost laughed. Admiral, we come from Earth. We're used to dangerous environments. An hour later, Jake, Dr. Stone, and Lisa were on a shuttle heading for the alien command ship. Danny stayed behind to keep the Terra Nova ready for anything. The alien ship was huge, but Jake could see the damage right away. Part of the hull was melted. There were holes where weapons had punched through the metal. Their technology is impressive, Lisa said, studying the ship's design. But look at that damage. They never built this ship to take hits and keep fighting. They docked with the alien ship and put on their spacesuits. The aliens had said their air was safe for humans, but Jake wanted to be careful. When they stepped through the airlock, Jake saw Admiral Kes Veltar in person for the first time. She was tall, maybe 7 feet, but she looked fragile. Her arms and legs were thin, and when she moved, it seemed like she might break. Welcome to our ship, she said. I apologize for the damage. We are not used to combat. Dr. Stone was staring at the Admiral with scientific interest. Admiral, may I ask about your biology? You seem very delicate. The Admiral nodded sadly. That is the right word. Delicate. Our bones are hollow, like your birds. Our skin tears easily, cannot survive in extreme heat or cold. Fall that would barely hurt a human could kill one of us. Jake began to understand. These aliens had never needed to be tough. Their worlds had never made them strong. Show us the damage to your ship, Lisa said. The Admiral led them through corridors that showed signs of battle. Some walls had holes blown through them. In one room, they saw alien bodies covered with sheets. The Void Hunters attacked 3 days ago, the Admiral explained. They destroyed 2 of our cities before we could evacuate. We saved who we could. Dr. Stone knelt beside one of the bodies. Admiral, may I? The Admiral nodded. Dr. Stone carefully pulled back the sheet. Alien underneath looked like it had been burned, but Jake could see that what had killed it was much less than what a human could survive. This injury, Dr. Stone said softly, human would recover from this in a few weeks. For us, it was fatal, the Admiral said. We do not heal as you do. We do not survive trauma as you do. They continued the tour. Jake saw alien crew members working to repair their ship. They moved slowly and carefully, as if they were afraid of getting hurt. Admiral Jake said, How do your people usually solve conflicts? We talk, she said. We negotiate. We share resources. In all our history, we have never fought a war. We did not know how. Lisa was studying the ship's weapon systems. These are defensive weapons. They're designed to scare enemies away, not to destroy them. Yes, the Admiral said. We never built weapons to kill. We built them to warn others to stay away. Jake was beginning to see the problem. These aliens were facing an enemy that wanted to destroy them, but they had never learned how to fight back. Admiral, he said, tell us about the Void Hunters. The Admiral's face became frightened. They are the opposite of us. They come from a world that made them hard. Strong, they do not negotiate. They do not share. They take what they want and destroy what they cannot take. How many ships do you have left? Lisa asked. 57 ships that can fight? You must understand, our weapons are weak. Ships break easily. Our people. She paused. Our people do not know how to die for a cause. Jake felt a chill. What do you mean? When the Void Hunters attack, our people surrender quickly. They hope that surrender will save their lives. They do not understand that sometimes you must fight even when you might die. Dr. Stone looked up from her notes. It's evolutionary. Their species never developed the fight or flight response like humans did. They developed the negotiate-or-submit response. But humans, the Admiral said, looking at Jake with hope in her large eyes, humans fight. Humans know how to be strong. Could you teach us? Jake thought about his ship, 38 people against hundreds of enemy warships. It seemed impossible, but then he thought about the alien refugees he had seen. Families running from their homes. Children who might die because no one knew how to protect them. We'll try, he said. Admiral, we're just one ship. We can't fight a whole fleet by ourselves. The Admiral's face lit up with hope. One ship of humans might be enough. You see, Captain, the Void Hunters are coming back. They will attack our main refugee camp in 3 days. If we can defeat them there, other species will see that the Void Hunters can be beaten. How many ships will they bring? Lisa asked. Intelligence suggests 50 ships, maybe more. Jake looked at Lisa and Dr. Stone. 50 enemy ships against 1 human ship and 57 alien ships that couldn't really fight. Will? Need to change how you think about warfare, Jake said. Teach us, the Admiral said. Please. 3 days came faster than Jake wanted. The Terra Nova hung in space near the refugee camp, surrounded by alien ships that looked more like cargo vessels than warships. Jake stood on his bridge, watching the enemy approach on the main screen. How many? He asked Lisa. 67 ships, she said. More than the Admiral expected. The Void Hunter fleet looked different from the Coalition ships. Where the alien refugee ships were smooth and curved, the Void Hunter ships were angular and covered with weapons. They moved in a tight formation. Like they had done this many times before. They're not even trying to hide, Danny said from his engineering station. They think this will be easy. Ryan was listening to enemy communications. Captain, they're broadcasting on open channels. I think they want us to hear. Put it through, Jake said. A harsh voice filled the bridge. The accent was different from the Coalition aliens, more guttural and aggressive. Coalition weaklings, prepare for destruction. You cannot run forever. Surrender now, and some of you may live as slaves. Jake picked up the microphone. This is Captain Jake Martinez of the Earth. Ship Terra Nova. You need to turn around and leave these people alone. Silence filled the radio for a moment. Then rough laughter came through the speakers. Humans, the voice said. We have heard rumors about your species. It's Deathworlders who think they are strong. 1 ship against our fleet. This will be amusing. The enemy ships began to spread out, surrounding the refugee camp. Jake could see their plan. They would attack from all directions at once, making escape impossible. Admiral Veltar, Jake called on the Coalition frequency. Are your ships ready? Yes. Ready as we can be, came the nervous reply. But Captain, we have never done anything like this before. Jake had spent the last 3 days trying to teach the Coalition basics of human military tactics. It was like teaching children to be soldiers. The aliens were smart, but they had no instincts for combat. Remember what we practiced? Jake said. Don't try to be heroes. Stay alive and keep shooting. The Void Hunter commander's voice came back. Humans, last chance. Join us or die with the weaklings. We'll take option 3, Jake said. You leave, or we make you leave. More laughter from the enemy. 67 ships against 1. Even Deathworlders are not that foolish. Jake smiled grimly. The enemy commander was making the same mistake that humans had made for centuries. He was counting ships instead of thinking about strategy, Jake said. Target their command ship. Locked on, she replied. Danny, give me everything the engines have. You got it, Captain? Ryan, tell the Coalition ships to scatter on my signal. The Void Hunter fleet began moving forward. They came slowly, confident in their numbers. Jake watched them approach and waited now, he said. The Terra Nova shot forward at full speed, heading straight for the enemy fleet. At the same time, the Coalition ships broke formation and scattered in all directions. What are they doing? Came a confused voice from the Void Hunter fleet. Jake's ship reached weapon range and opened fire. Human weapons designed to work in Earth's chaotic electromagnetic environment. Punched through the lead Void Hunter ship's shields like they weren't there. The enemy ship exploded in a ball of fire. Impossible, shouted the Void Hunter commander. But Jake was already moving. Instead of staying to fight, the Terra Nova shot past the enemy fleet and disappeared behind a large asteroid. Where did they go? Came panicked voices from the Void Hunter ships. The enemy fleet began searching, but Jake had taught the Coalition a lesson from Earth's history. Never fight fair when you're outnumbered. The Terra Nova came around the other side of the asteroid and attacked again. This time, Lisa targeted the engines of 3 ships before Danny spun them away from return fire. Coalition ships, Jake called. Attack pattern Alpha. The alien ships, which had been running away, suddenly turned and attacked the confused Void Hunter fleet from behind. Their weapons were weak, but they hit ships that were already damaged. Cowards, screamed the Void Hunter commander. Stand and fight. But Jake had learned something important about the enemy during his preparation. They were used to simple battles. Attack, overwhelm, win. Didn't know how to handle an enemy that refused to follow their rules. The Terra Nova struck again, this time using the system's asteroid field for cover. Human ships were built to navigate through Earth's dangerous orbital debris. The asteroid field was just another obstacle course. The Void Hunter ships tried to follow, but they were designed for open space battles. When they entered the asteroids, they had to slow down and move carefully. Now they're trapped, Lisa said with satisfaction. Jake called Dr. Stone to the bridge. Doctor, we need your expertise. She arrived quickly, still wearing her medical gear. What can I do, Captain? You've been studying the system's star? Tell me about those solar flares you mentioned. Dr. Stone looked at her instruments. There's a massive flare building. It should release in about 10 minutes. The radiation burst will be dangerous to electronics. How dangerous? Enough to overload unshielded systems. But Captain, our ship is shielded for Earth's magnetic field. We should be fine. Jake smiled. And the Void Hunter ships. Dr. Stone checked her readings. They come from a system with a stable star. I doubt their ships have that kind of shielding. Perfect. Ryan, tell the Coalition ships to get behind the large moon. Tell them to stay there until I give the all-clear. What about us? Lisa asked. We're going to lead our friends into a radiation storm. The Terra Nova shot out of the asteroid field and began attacking the Void Hunter fleet again. This time, Jake made sure they were angry. Come on, he broadcast on open channels. 66 ships left, and you still can't catch one human ship? Maybe we're not the ones who should be worried. The insult worked. The entire Void Hunter fleet began chasing the Terra Nova through space. Jake led them on a course that would put them directly in the path of the solar flare. Flare in 3 minutes, Dr. Stone announced. The Void Hunter ships were gaining. Their weapons began hitting the Terra Nova's rear shields. 2 minutes, Dr. Stone said. More hits. The ship shook under the impact. 1 minute, Captain. We need to get clear. Not yet, Jake said. He watched the enemy ships, all 66 of them, following him into the danger zone. 30 seconds now. Jake shouted Danny through the ship into a sharp turn that would have crushed any of the fragile Coalition aliens. The Terra Nova shot. Away from the Void Hunter fleet, just as the solar flare erupted from the star, a wave of radiation washed over the enemy ships. Their shields flickered and died. Their weapons went offline. Many ships lost power completely and began drifting. Coalition ships, Jake called. Attack now, while they're helpless. The alien ships came out from behind the moon and began destroying the disabled Void Hunter vessels. For the first time in the war, Coalition weapons were more than enough. The battle lasted another hour. When it was over, only 12 Void Hunter ships remained, and they were running for the edge of the system. "Let them go," Jake told the Coalition ships. "They'll spread the word that you're not helpless anymore." Admiral Veltar's voice came over the radio. She sounded amazed. "Captain Martinez, we won. We actually won." "You did good," Jake said. "All of you." But even as he said it, Jake knew this was just the beginning. The Void Hunters would be back with more ships and new tactics. The Coalition had won one battle, but the war was far from over. Dr. Stone was treating wounded Coalition crew members who had been brought to the Terra Nova. "Captain," she said, "I'm learning a lot about their biology. They're tougher than they think, but they need medical care that their own doctors don't know how to provide." "What do you mean?" "They give up too easily when they're hurt." But with proper trauma care, most of these injuries are survivable. "I think I can teach their medical teams some new techniques." Jake nodded. The Coalition had won their first battle, but they still had a lot to learn about fighting and surviving. "Ryan," Jake said, "send a message to Earth. Tell them we've made contact with friendly aliens who are under attack. Request immediate military support." "Yes, Captain." Jake looked out at the Coalition ships celebrating their victory. They had learned something important today. They could fight back. They could win. But the real test was still coming. News of the Coalition's victory spread across the galaxy faster than Jake had expected. Within 2 weeks, ships from dozens of different alien species began arriving at the refugee camp. They all wanted the same thing, to learn how to fight like humans. Jake found himself in a position he had never expected. Instead of being an explorer, he was now a military teacher for an entire section of the galaxy. Captain Dr. Stone said, entering his temporary office on the Coalition command ship. "We have a problem." "What kind of problem?" Jake asked, looking up from the reports covering his desk. "The Meridians and the Kepler natives are here. They want to join the fighting, but their biology is completely different from the Zephyrians." Jake rubbed his tired eyes. "How different?" "The Meridians are aquatic. They need water to breathe. The Kepler natives are only 3 feet tall, but they're much stronger than they look. Each species has different strengths and weaknesses. Can they all work together?" Dr. Stone smiled. "That's the interesting part. I think they can, but only if we change how we think about warfare." Jake followed her to the medical bay where she had set up a research station. Alien crew members from different species were working side by side, something that apparently had never happened before. "The Meridians are natural pilots," Dr. Stone explained. "They think in 3 dimensions because they swim through water. Kepler natives are excellent with machinery because their small hands can reach places others can't. Good at communications and planning. Each species has something to offer." Lisa Wong entered the medical bay looking frustrated. "Captain, we need to talk about weapons training. Problems, and the aliens are trying to learn human fighting tactics, but they're not built for it. Half of them get hurt just trying to hold our weapons properly." Jake thought about this. "So we need to design new tactics for their abilities." "Exactly, but there's something else. Some of the Coalition leaders think our methods are too violent. They want to go back to trying to negotiate with the Void Hunters." Danny O'Brien came up behind them. "Captain, I've been working with their engineers. You should see what they can build when they stop being afraid of taking risks." "Show me," Jake said. Danny led them to a workshop where alien engineers were modifying Coalition ships. The changes were impressive. Instead of trying to copy human designs, they were adapting human concepts to work with their own technology. "Look at this," Danny said, pointing to a Zephyrian ship. "They've added extra armor, but it's made from a lightweight metal that's stronger than our steel. And they've redesigned the weapons to fire in patterns that match how they think." A small alien approached them. Jake recognized him as Chief Engineer Kep 7, one of the Kepler natives. "Human Danny," the alien said in careful English. "We have question. Your people build machines that work when broken." "How?" Danny grinned. "We call it redundancy. We build backup systems for our backup systems. On Earth, everything breaks eventually, so we plan for it." "This is a new idea for us," Kep 7 said. Our machines work perfectly or not at all, but your way is better for fighting. Jake was beginning to understand something important. The aliens weren't trying to become human. They were learning human principles and adapting them to their own strengths. Captain Martinez came Admiral Veltar's voice over the intercom. Could you come to the command center? We have visitors. Jake and his team went to the command center, where they found Admiral Veltar talking to a group of aliens Jake had never seen before. These were different from the Coalition species. They looked harder, more military. Captain, the Admiral said, these are representatives from the Stellar Republic. They've been fighting the Void Hunters for years. The lead alien, a gray-skinned creature with multiple arms, stepped forward. I am Commander Grixdal. We have heard about your victory. We want to join your alliance. What can you tell us about the Void Hunters? Jake asked. They are not just raiders, Grixdal said. They're running from something. Their home galaxy is dying, and they're looking for new worlds to colonate. They will not stop until they control this entire region of space. This was news to Jake. What you fought was just a small scouting force. Jake felt his heart sink. If that was true, then one human ship and a few dozen alien vessels wouldn't be nearly enough. But, Grixdal continued, we have been watching your tactics. Your humans fight in ways we never considered. If we can learn these methods, we might have a chance. Over the next month, Jake found himself running a military academy unlike anything in galactic history. Representatives from 20 different species came to learn human warfare concepts. Dr. Stone taught medical techniques that could save lives that would have been considered lost. Simple things like stopping bleeding and treating shock were revolutionary. Two species that had never needed emergency medicine. The key, she explained to a mixed class of alien medics, is to never give up. Humans learn that even terrible injuries can be survived with the right treatment. Lisa Wong worked with alien tactical officers, teaching them strategy and combat planning. The most important thing, she told them, is to think like your enemy. What do they expect you to do? Then do something different. Danny O'Brien ran engineering classes, showing alien technicians how to build equipment that could survive battle damage. Human rule, he said. If it can break, it will break.
Nice.
So build it to work, even when it's broken. Ryan Clark taught communications, showing the aliens how to maintain contact during chaotic situations. In Human Wars, he explained, the side with better communication usually wins. But the biggest challenge was psychological. Most alien species had never learned to accept casualties. The idea that soldiers might die for a cause was foreign to them. This is hard for us to understand. Admiral Veltar admitted to Jake 1. Evening, your people are willing to sacrifice themselves for others. Our people, ... we have never developed this instinct. It's not instinct, Jake said. It's choice. We choose to protect what matters to us, even if it costs us personally.
But
how do we teach that? Jake thought about it. Start small. Teach them to take small risks for small gains. Build up their confidence. Show them that they can be brave. The breakthrough came when a new Void Hunter fleet attacked a nearby system. This time Coalition forces responded using human tactics. Different species worked together, using their natural abilities and coordinated attacks. The Meridians used their three-dimensional thinking to pilot, attack ships through complex maneuvers. The Kepler natives sabotaged enemy equipment from inside damaged ships. Coalition casualties. Captain, Admiral Veltar said afterward, we did it. We fought as a team, different species, working together. But Jake knew this was still just preparation. Intelligence reports suggested that the main Void Hunter fleet was gathering for a massive assault. Hundreds of ships, maybe thousands. We need more help, Jake told his crew that night. We've taught them how to fight, but there aren't enough of them. What about Earth? Lisa asked. Your message should have reached them by now. That's our hope, Jake said. But even if Earth sends ships, it will take months for them to get here. Dr. Stone was studying intelligence reports. Captain, I think I found something. The Void Hunters have a weakness. What kind of weakness? They're used to overwhelming force. They don't know how to handle guerrilla warfare. If we can't match their numbers, maybe we can make them afraid. Jake smiled. "Doctor, I think you just solved our problem." The final battle was coming, and Jake knew that everything they had taught the Coalition would be put to the test. But for the first time, since arriving in alien space, he believed they might actually win. 6 months after first contact, Jake stood on the bridge of a ship he barely recognized. The Terra Nova had been modified with alien technology and human engineering. She was faster, stronger, and deadlier than ever before. "Leah," Captain Ryan called. "From his station, we're getting signals from the Earth fleet." Jake felt relief wash over him. After months of waiting, help had finally arrived from home. "Put Admiral Sullivan through," he said. The screen flickered, showing a stern woman in Earth's military uniform. Admiral Kate Sullivan had been Jake's commanding officer years ago. Seeing her face made him realize how much he had missed home. "Martinez," she said, "you've caused quite a stir back on Earth. First contact with aliens, and you started a war?" "Not exactly how I planned it," Admiral Jake replied. "I'm reading your reports now. Incredible work, Captain. We brought some friends with us." The tactical display showed the arriving Earth fleet. Jake counted 30 ships, including some of the newest and most powerful vessels in the human military. "Admiral," Jake said, "meet Admiral Veltar of the Zephyrian Coalition." The alien admiral appeared on screen next to Admiral Sullivan. Contrast was striking. The fragile-looking alien next to the tough human military officer. Admiral Sullivan, Veltar said in much improved English, "We are honored by your arrival. Captain Martinez and his crew have taught us much about survival." "From what I hear," Sullivan replied, "you've been good students." "Are you ready for the big fight?" "As ready as we can be," Veltar said. "The Void Hunter main fleet is 3 days away. Intelligence suggests over 400 ships." Jake looked at the numbers. 30 human ships and maybe 200 Coalition vessels against 400 enemy warships. Still bad odds, but much better than what they had started with. "What's the plan?" Admiral Sullivan asked. Over the next 2 days, Jake found himself planning the largest space battle in galactic history. The strategy was complex, using everything they had learned about alien warfare. "The key," Jake explained to the mixed human, "an alien command staff is that we don't fight them the way they expect." Lisa Wong, now promoted to commander, pointed to the tactical display. "The Void Hunters will expect a traditional battle. Big fleets shooting at each other until one side is destroyed. Instead," said Dr. Stone, "we use guerrilla tactics on a massive scale." Danny O'Brien had been working with alien engineers to prepare surprises for the enemy. "We've turned 3 asteroid fields into minefields. We've rigged several small moons with explosives, and we've got some other tricks ready." The human and alien fleets took positions throughout the star system. Instead of grouping together, they scattered into small units that could attack from multiple directions. "Remember," Jake broadcast to all ships, "we're not trying to destroy them all at once. We're trying to make them afraid. Fear will do more damage than our weapons." The Void Hunter fleet arrived exactly when intelligence had predicted. Jake watched from the command ship as hundreds of enemy vessels dropped out of faster-than-light travel. "My God," whispered Admiral Sullivan, "there are so many of them." The enemy fleet was massive. Ship after ship appeared until they filled space like a metal cloud. Coalition and Earth forces came the voice of Fleet Commander Thuckmore. "The Void Hunter leader, you have fought well, but this ends now. Surrender, and some of you will be allowed to live as slaves." Jake picked up the microphone. "Commander Thuckmore, this is Captain Jake Martinez. You have one chance to leave this system peacefully." Laughter came through the speakers. "Little human captain wants to bargain. You have learned to fight, yes, but you cannot win against such numbers." "We'll see," Jake said. The battle began. With the Void Hunters doing exactly what Jake had expected, they formed up in a massive formation and began advancing toward the inner system where they thought the defenders were waiting. Instead, they found empty space. "Where are they?" came confused voices from the enemy fleet. The answer came from behind them. Coalition ships, hidden in the asteroid field, began attacking the rear of the Void Hunter formation. At the same time, human ships struck from above. And below? "Impossible," shouted Commander Thuckmore. "Stand and fight." But the defending ships didn't stand and fight. They hit hard and fast, then disappeared back into the asteroid fields and behind moons. The Void Hunter fleet tried to pursue, but that's when Danny's engineering preparations paid off. As enemy ships chased the defenders into the asteroid field, hidden explosives turned rocks into deadly projectiles. "We're taking heavy casualties," came panicked reports from Void Hunter's ships. Dr. Stone was coordinating medical teams throughout the battle. Coalition and human medics worked together, saving lives that would have been lost in previous battles. "Medical teams," she broadcast, "remember your training. No one dies from injuries we can treat." The battle continued for hours. The Void Hunters had more ships, but they couldn't use their advantage. Every time they tried to group up for a massive attack, smaller defender units would hit them from unexpected directions. Commander Ben Torres, leading a squadron of Earth fighters, broke through enemy lines to attack their command ship. "This is for everyone you've killed," he said as his weapons found their target. Commander Lisa Park, working with a mixed group of human and Zephyrian pilots, used coordinated attacks that the enemy couldn't predict or counter. The turning point came when Kepsivan, the small Kepler engineer, led a team inside a damaged Void Hunter ship. Using their tiny size and mechanical skills, they accessed the enemy's computer systems. "We have their communications," Kep7 reported. "Can access their navigation systems." "Do it," Jake ordered. Suddenly, Void Hunter ships began receiving false orders. Some turned to attack their own allies. Others found their navigation systems sending them into asteroids. "What's happening?" screamed Commander Thuckmore. "You're losing," Jake replied. The Void Hunter fleet began to break apart. Some ships tried to retreat, others continued fighting, and many simply drifted helplessly with damaged systems. Admiral Sullivan led the final assault on the enemy command ship. "This is for every world you've destroyed," she said, as human and coalition ships surrounded the massive vessel. Commander Thuckmore's image appeared on the main screen. The alien looked defeated and confused. "How?" he asked. "How did you teach them to fight like this?" "We didn't teach them to fight like humans," Jake said. "We taught them to fight like themselves. Each species using their own strengths, working together." The surrender came not from military defeat, but from something the Void Hunters had never experienced before. For the first time in their history, they faced enemies who refused to break under pressure. "We surrender," Thuckmore said quietly. "But what happens to us now? Cannot return to our dying galaxy." Jake looked at Admiral Veltar. The alien admiral thought for a moment, then spoke. "You can join us," she said. "Learn to survive without destroying others. Learn to work instead of taking. But you must prove that you can change." 1 year later, Jake stood in the council chambers of the new Galactic Alliance. Representatives from dozens of species sat together, planning exploration missions to new star systems. The Void Hunters had been integrated into the Alliance as a working guild. Their aggressive nature had been redirected toward dangerous but necessary jobs like asteroid mining and space construction. Dr. Stone now ran the interspecies medical program, teaching advanced trauma care to medical teams across the galaxy. "We've reduced combat fatalities by 80%, she reported proudly. Danny O'Brien led the Alliance Engineering Corps, designing ships and equipment that could survive in the harsh environments that humans considered normal. Lisa Wong commanded the Alliance Military Academy, where former enemies trained together as allies. Ryan Clark managed the Galactic Communication Network, keeping thousands of worlds in contact using protocols designed for Earth's chaotic electromagnetic environment. "Captain Martinez," Admiral Veltar said, approaching him after the council meeting. "I have a question that has bothered me for a year." "What's that, Admiral? Why did you help us? You could have returned to Earth when you first heard our call. Why risk everything for strangers?" Jake thought about it, because that's what humans do. "When someone calls for help, we answer, even if it's dangerous, even if it costs us," and that, Veltar said, "is what makes you true Deathworlders. Not that you come from a dangerous world, but that you choose to protect others despite the danger." A new alert sounded in the council chambers. Ryan's voice came over the speakers. Y Alliance ships were receiving a distress call from the Andromeda Galaxy. Unknown species under attack by an unknown enemy. They're requesting assistance. Jake looked around the council chambers at the representatives of dozens of species. All of them were looking at him. "Well," he said, "I guess it's time to answer another call for help." Admiral Sullivan, now commanding the Alliance fleet, stepped forward. "Captain Martinez, ready to go save another galaxy?" Jake smiled. "Admiral, we're from Earth. Saving galaxies is what we do." As the Alliance fleet prepared for another mission, Jake realized that humanity's greatest gift to the universe wasn't superior technology or military might. It was the simple idea that when someone needs help, you help them, even if it's dangerous, even if the odds are bad, even if you might not come home, because that's what it means to be human. And now, thanks to their example, that's what it meant. To be part of the Alliance, the stars were full of dangers, but they were also full of friends, and together, they could face anything the universe could throw at them. The Terra Nova, now flagship of the Alliance exploration fleet, jumped to faster than light speed. Behind her followed ships from 20 different worlds, all united by the human belief that no call for help should go unanswered. The galaxy was a dangerous place, but it was also home to some very dangerous friends.